San Antonio Water System Standard Specifications for Construction. Item No. 824. Water Service Supply Lines. Reconnects. 824.1 Description: this item shall consist of water service supply lines reconnect ions. In accordance with these specifications and as directed by the engineer. 824.2 Reference Standards. Reference standards cited in this specification. Item No. 824 refer to the current reference standard published at the time of the latest revision date. 1. San Antonio Water System, SAWS. A. Specifications for water and sanitary sewer construction. B. SAWS Materials Specifications. 2. City of San Antonio, COSA, Standard Specification for Construction. 3. Texas Commission of Environmental Quality, TCEQ. A. Chapter 290, Subchapter D, Rules and Regulations for Public Drinking Water. 4. American National Standards Institute, ANSI, American Water Works Association, AWWA. ANSI/AWWAC 105/A21.5 Polyethylene encasement for ductile iron pipe systems. B. ANSI A21.11/AWWAC 111, Standard for rubber gasket joints for ductile iron pressure pipe and fittings. C. ANSI/AWWAC 150/A21.50 Thickness design of ductile iron pipe. D. ANSI/AWWAC 151/A21.51 Ductile iron pipe, centrifugal lee cast. E. ANSI/AWWAC 500 Metal seated gate valves for water supply service. F. ANSI/AWWAC 515 Reduced wall, resilient seated gate valves for water supply service. G. ANSI/NSF Standard 61, Drinking Water System, Health Components. H. AWWAC 206, Standard for Field Welding of Steel Water Pipe. I. AWWAC 207, Standard for Steel Pipe Flanges for Waterworks Service, sizes 4 inches through 144 inches. J. ANSI/AWWAC 509 Resilient Seated Gate Valves for Water Supply Service. K. AWWAC 605, Underground Installation of Polyvinyl Chloride, PVC, Pressure Pipe and Fittings for Water. L. AWWAC 651 Disinfecting Water Mains. M. AWWAC 900, Polyvinyl Chloride, PVC, Pressure Pipe and Fabricated Fittings, 4 inches through 60 inches, 100 mm through 1500 m for water distribution. N. AWWAC 907, Polyvinyl Chloride, PVC, Pressure Fittings for Water 4 in through 8 in, 100 mm through 200 mm. OAWWA Manual M27, External Corrosion, Introduction to Chemistry and Control. PAWWA M28 Rehabilitation of Water Mains. QAWWA Manual M41 Ductile Iron Pipe and Fittings. 5. American Society for Testing and Materials, ASTM, International. ASTM A36, Standard Specification for Carbon Structural Steel. BASTM A536, Standard Specification for Ductile Iron Castings. CASTM A126, Standard Specification for Gray Iron Castings for Valves, Flanges, and D-Pipe Fittings. EASTM B21, Standard Specification for Naval Brass Rod, Bar, and Shapes. FASTM B98, Standard Specification for Copper Silicon Alloy Rod, Bar, and Shapes. GASTM B301, Standard Specification for Free-Cutting Copper Rod and Bar. HASTM B584, Standard Specification for Copper Alloy Sand Casting for General Application. IASTM E165, Standard Test Method for Liquid Penetrant Examination. JASTM E709, Standard Guide for Magnetic Particle Examination. KASTM F1674, Standard Test Method for Joint Restraint Products for use with PVC pipe. 6. International Organization of Standardization, ISO. A ISO 9001. 824.3 Submittals. All submittals shall be in accordance with most recent version of SAWS General Conditions Requirements. Submit the following for approval prior to performing any work. 1. Certifications. A. Per General Conditions Section 5.12.2 All contractor submittals for all pipe and other products or materials furnished under this specification shall be marked as reviewed and approved by contractor for compliance with contract documents and the reference standards. B. The manufacturer shall provide ISO 9001 certificate by a third party. C. Submit written verification from the pipe manufacturer demonstrating compliance with the production and delivery schedule of the pipe as indicated in the contractor's schedule. D. Contractor shall submit manufacturer's product data, installation recommendations, shop drawings, and certifications. E. Shop drawings. F. Catalog data sheets for all materials confirming pipe, fittings, and other materials conform to requirements of this specification. G. Pipe supplier information. Submit company name, and contact number. H. Details of all piping systems components confirming that the pipe and fittings conform to the specified requirements. 824.4 Materials. The materials for water service supply lines Reconnect ions shall conform to the specifications contained within the latest revision of SAWS material specification. Item NOS 21-10, brass gate valves, 15-40, brass goods, 15-01, 19-01 HDPE tubing. And 100-30, service saddles, 10-30 water meter boxes, 5/8, 3/4, 1, 1-1/2 and 2 meters. 824.5 Construction. 1. General, service supply lines and fittings, meter boxes, and appurtenances shall conform to the material specifications and shall be installed by the contractor as /specified herein, or as directed by the engineer and in accordance with the DD824 standard drawing series. A. All services shall be in line with meter box location, any variance requires prior approval from SAWS inspector. 2. Designation of service supply lines. A service supply line located between the water main and the inlet side of the water meter is designated as a water service line. A service supply line located between the outlet side of the water meter to the point of connection within the limits of the customer's lot or property is designated as the customer's yard piping and is covered under item number 822 of these specifications. B. Services 2 inches and smaller are designated small services. C. Services 4 inches and larger are designated large services. 3. Service reconnects. No short reconnects will be allowed, they will be relayed. See Water Service Supply Line Relay DD824-03. A service reconnect is defined as a connection between an existing supply line to a new main. B. Existing services on the opposite side of the street to the new main shall be defined as along reconnects. 4. Tap holes. Tap holes are defined as excavations at existing mains, which are required in association with replacements of water service lines by pulling, boring or jacking operations. A. All backfill material shall be as specified for all associated main and service line trench excavation, as specified in specification item No. 804 excavation, trenching, and backfill. B. For service lines and tap holes, payment for bedding, initial backfill and secondary backfill shall be included in the various sizes of each service placed. 5. Service line installation. Unless otherwise notified, service reconnects shall be installed as described herein, and in the DD824 standard drawing series. A. Unless otherwise indicated, existing meter and meter box relocation shall be included in the service line installation. B. All service lines longer than 60 feet in length in concrete pavement in major thoroughfares shall be installed in Schedule 80 PVC conduit. C. Cutting, excavation, backfill and replacement of pavement shall be done as specified herein and in accordance with applicable sections of the City of San Antonio Specification Item Number 511, Cutting and Replacing Pavements, Trench Repair, and Specification Item Number 804, Excavation, Trenching, and Backfill. D. The minimum trench width for small service lines shall be 8 inches, while the minimum trench width for large service lines shall be the nominal pipe diameter plus 16 inches, except when specified otherwise by the engineer. For 3/4 inch to 2-inch service lines, the minimum bury depth shall be 3 feet. For services greater than 2 inches, the minimum depth of bury shall be 4 feet. All service lines shall be installed in accordance with the DD824 Standard Drawing Series, SAWS Standard Material Specification Item No. 100-30, with 2 strap service saddle clamps for all tap services. F. The contractor shall use precaution to protect and preserve the polyethylene wraparound ductile iron water mains when installing service saddles and service corporations. G. The required method is wrap pipe tape around the pipe, over the poly wrap, after the service saddle and service corporation has been installed. HDPE shall have stiffness installed per manufacturer's recommendation. I. The tap shall be made through the tape and poly wrap. It is not necessary to remove and replace poly wrap. J. All exposed pipe, corporation, and the first 3 feet of the service, shall be wrapped and taped to achieve a complete seal. In addition, a sand envelope shall extend over and around the connection to a depth of 8 inches above the main. K. Small service lines shall be embedded in sand in accordance with Specification Item Number 804, Excavation, Trenching and Backfill. L. When approved by the inspector, the contractor may lay the new service line from the corporation stop to the curb stop or angle valve. M. Upon completion, the contractor shall isolate the new service line by closing the curb stop or angle valve until the meter box is set. 6. Splicing. A long service line single slice may be permitted only when approved in advance by the inspector, provided the location of the splice is not under pavement, concrete, or roadways. A. The segment added is required to be the same material as the existing service line, unless otherwise directed by the inspector. B. Splicing short service lines will not be permitted. 7. Boring or jacking service lines. Service lines which cross paved streets may be installed at the contractor's option by boring or jacking operations at no additional cost to SAWS. PVC Schedule 80 shall be used for casing. 2 and 3, Sertati lock or steel pipe shall be used for larger casing 4 and up. 8. Tapping asbestos cement, AC, pipe, direct tapping will not be allowed. Service saddles must be used when tapping AC pipe. A. Drill tools shall be used for services less than 2 inches. B. Shell type drills shall be used for all services 2 inches and greater. C. The tapping of AC pipe must be done in accordance with manufacturer's recommendations and done only with tap machine having a built-in flush valve, and the flush valve must be opened during the entire procedure. 9. Abandonment of service lines. The contractor shall accomplish all cutting, capping, and plugging necessary to isolate reconnected service lines transferred to new and existing mains from those abandoned, including service lines designated in the contract documents as tap plug. A. The corporation stop for an abandoned service line tapped on a ferrous main shall be removed, and the tap at the main shall be plugged with an appropriately sized brass plug. B. For a non-ferrous main, the corporation stop shall not be removed from the main. Instead, the corporation stop shall be closed and the flared nut shall be removed from the corporation stop. C. After the appropriately sized copper disc is inserted inside the flared nut, replace the flared nut on the corporation stop. 10. Tapping PVC, C900, pipe. Tapping of PVC pipe must be done in accordance with Unibel procedures. A. Direct tapping will not be allowed. All drill cutting tools must be the shell type with internal teeth or double slots which will retain the coupon. B. The shell cutters must be designed for C900 pipe, thus having sufficient root depth to handle the heavier walled pipe. 11. Small service lines. A HDPE tubing shall be used for 3/4 inch through 2-inch service lines. B. Brass fittings for 3/4 inch and 1 inch service lines shall be of compression type for the use with HDPE tubing. C. Brass fittings for 1/2 inch and 2 inch lines shall be of compression type for use with HDPE tubing, except as modified in this specification. D. Tubing shall be cut squarely by using an approved cutting tool and by avoiding excessive pressure on the cutting wheels which might bend or flatten the pipe walls. E. Tubing shall be cut squarely and burred. F. Pipe adjacent to the fittings shall be straight for at least 10 inches. G. Bending of tubing shall be accomplished by using an appropriate sized bending tool. No kinks, dents, flats, or crimps will be permitted, and should such occur, the damaged section shall be replaced. H. When compression fittings are used, the tubing shall be cut squarely prior to insertion into the fitting. I. Final assembly shall be in accordance with the manufacturer's recommendations. 12. Reconnecting service lines, both old and new water mains at existing service line connections, as shown in the contract documents, shall be exposed. A. The old main shall be exposed for the purpose of gaining access to the existing service corporation stop and the new main for the purpose of installing the new corporation stop. B. The new main shall be exposed for the purpose of being drilled and tapped with an approved tapping machine, a new corporation stop installed under pressure, and the trench extended laterally to expose a sufficient length of the existing service line to provide slack to bend it into position for tying to the new corporation stop. CDD 824 Drawing Series. C. After suitable notification to the customer, the contractor shall kill the existing service by closing the corporation stop, removing the existing flare nut, inserting inside the existing flared nut an appropriately sized copper disc and replacing the existing flared nut on the corporation stop if the main is non-ferrous, or plugging the existing service line at the main if the main is ferrous. D. The contractor shall then immediately open the stop and restore water service to the customer. E. Where it is not possible to obtain sufficient length in the existing service to tie directly to the new main, at the direction of the inspector, the service will be relayed. F. Where old and new mains are on opposite sides of the street, service lines may be installed under the street pavement by boring or jacking rather than trenching. 13. Single service line, dual meters. The single service line, dual meter installation shall consist of a 1 service line reducing to 2 3/4 inch service lines at a T which shall be set in line with the front edge of meter boxes for 5/8 inch and 3/4 inch meters. A single service line with dual meters shall be installed in those new residential developments where new 5/8 inch and 3/4 inch meters are required and in main replacement work, where it is necessary to change the location of existing 5/8 inch and 3/4 inch meters. B. Single service line, dual meter materials and installation requirements shall conform to requirements established herein. CDD 824 Drawing Series. C. No branching will be allowed on services that require pressure reducing valves, PRVs. D. Dual meters will be allowed for new development only. 14. Small service lines on existing mains. The work involved in the reconnection of service lines on existing mains shall consist of jacking, boring, tunneling, and open trench operations, all excavation through any material encountered, trench excavation protection, using the existing corporation when approved by the inspector, tapping the existing main and installing the new corporation and setting the curb stop or angle valve at the meter, abandoning the existing corporation stop, removing the existing flared nut, inserting inside the existing flared nut an appropriately sized copper disc and replacing the existing flared nut on the corporation stop, if the main is non-ferrous, or plugging the existing service line at the main if the main is ferrous, installing the new service line at the same grade as the existing service line or at the specified grade between the main and the existing meter and its tie-in at the corporation and the curb stop, disposal of surplus excavated material, capping the tap hole with asphalt-treated base including the outer limits of the main line trench and the service line trench, cutting and replacing all surfaces of all type encountered over the completed service line trench, restoration of the site. 15. Large service lines, ductile iron pipe, HDPE, and PVC fittings used for metered service lines and non-metered fire service lines larger than 2 inch shall be installed in accordance with the applicable provisions of specification item number 812, water main installation, except where otherwise approved by the engineer. 16 large service lines on new mains. Work involved in the reconnection of new metered service lines and non-metered fire service lines shall consist of all excavation through all material encountered, trench excavation protection, installing tees, pipe and fittings of various sizes including main line and service line valves, valve boxes, ductile iron pipe, PVC, HDPE, fittings, in accordance with the associated DD824 drawing series, and reaction block, backfilling with approved selected material, cutting and replacing pavements, curbing, and sidewalks of all types over the limits of the main line trench and the completed service line. 17 large service lines on existing mains. The work involved in the reconnection of the new metered service lines and non-metered fire service lines shall consist of all excavation through all material encountered, trench excavation protection, cutting in tees and installing tapping sleeves and valves, pipe, and fittings of various sizes including main line and service valves, valves boxes, ductile iron pipe, PVC, HDPE, fittings, and reaction block required, backfilling with approved selected material, cutting and replacing pavements, curbing, and sidewalks of all types over the limits of the main line trench and the completed service line. 824.6 Measurement. 1 Reconnect long service will be measured by the unit of the various types and sizes of each service line relocated. 824.7 Payment. 1 payment for Reconnect long service will be made at the unit of the various types and sizes of each service line relocated. Such payment shall also include excavation, trench excavation protection, hauling and disposition of surplus excavated materials, sand backfill, initial and secondary backfill, cutting pavement and surface structures of all type encountered and replacement with all type specified, and tubing and fittings of the various sizes used in the service line reconnection. 2 Materials paid on site will be in accordance with Table 1 of Specification Item Number 100 Mobilization.